Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase." As our drone soared over this majestic landscape, so did our spirits, eager to explore the unknown one step at a time. The Bali Pass Trek isn't just a route through the Himalayas. It's a journey of endurance, discovery, awe-inspiring beauty, and the opportunity to walk on the revered Yamunotri Glacier. We flew from Austin to Dehradun via Delhi. Delhi has a lot to offer. I highly recommend taking a pit stop in Delhi and visiting important landmarks like Akshardham, Red Fort, or a food tour in Chandni Chowk. Dehradun is just a short flight from Delhi and the gateway to the Garhwal Himalayas. The adjoining cities of Haridwar and Rishikesh have a huge significance in Hinduism and are extremely rich in culture. Ganges, the lifeline of India, flows through these cities. In the shadow of Swarg where ancient stories of Mahabharata blend with untamed wilderness, our journey began. Over the next several days, we would traverse pristine valleys, challenging ascents, and glacial passes, creating memories that would last a lifetime. A long, scenic drive from Dehradun led us to Sangri, a charming village tucked away in the Himalayas, which serves as the gateway for the Bali Pass Trek. After a good, restful night, we started with a short but remarkable drive from Sangri to Taluka, the starting point of our trek. We drove through the dense pine forests on the rooftop of our Jeep in the Govind National Park, an area dedicated to snow leopard conservation. Our trek along the Tons River that morning was very calming. The air was filled with the sounds chirping birds, rustling leaves, and gushing water. Along the way, we visited the historic town of Gungar. The architecture of the dwellings in the barn were very unique. I had interesting conversations with local kids and women who explained me their customs and way of life. They invited us into their home and offered tea. Their abodes were extremely humble, but hearts as big as the surrounding mountains. As we moved deeper into the wilderness, the village life gave away to the untamed beauty of the Himalayas. By evening, we arrived at Sima, our first campsite. The next leg of our journey took us to Ranbasera, a remote campsite perched beside the river. The trail became more challenging, with rocky paths and river crossings testing our balance and focus. Along the way, we were rewarded with stunning views of cascading waterfalls. Ranbasera felt like a world untouched by time, with the river's constant roar reminding us of nature's raw power. Historically, this route connected remote Himalayan villages across two important valleys, the Harkidun Valley and Yamunotri Valley, fostering trade and cultural exchanges. Over the next few days, we would traverse diverse terrains, from dense forests and river crossings to high-altitude meadows and glacial passes, all while soaking in the grandeur of towering peaks like Swarg, Bundarpooch, and Black Peak or Mount Galanag, which are all above 20,000 feet. From Ranbasera, we trekked to Ruansara Dal, a glacial lake cradled by snow-capped peaks. The journey to this high-altitude lake was both challenging and rewarding. Amidst lush green meadows and rhododendron trees, Ruansara Dal's still waters mirrored the surrounding peaks, creating a picture-perfect moment. This campsite was extremely picturesque, offering a sense of tranquility and connection to the natural world. Leaving Ruansara Dal meant crossing the Tons River again, but this time without a bridge. The stable footbridge was washed out by the gushing water, so we had to manage with a makeshift bridge of tree trunks. We roped up and had a blast crossing the river. After crossing over safely, we hiked through absolutely gorgeous alpine meadow, dotted with beautiful wildflowers. We slowly made our way to Odari, a campsite steeped in history and intrigue. Odari, meaning cave, is believed to have been a shelter for travelers and traders navigating these treacherous routes in ancient times. It is believed that King Bali from Ramayana spent a night here in the cave while crossing the Bali Pass, and hence the name. The terrain around the campsite hinted at the challenges that awaited us at higher altitudes, but the awe-inspiring beauty of the Swargrohini Massif from our tents made it all worth it. According to Mahabharata, Swargrohini is the mountain that Yudhishthira and his accompanied dog took to get to heaven. The trek to Bali Pass base camp was marked to be very steep ascents on a ridge with shifting landscapes. The lush greenery of the lower trails gave way to a rugged, snow-dappled terrain. The base camp, set against the backdrop of towering peaks, created an amphitheater setting which felt like a gateway to the heavens. As the sun dipped behind the mountains, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, we prepared ourselves mentally and physically for the most demanding part of our journey, the Bali Pass summit. We started our summit climb at 3 a.m. that morning. The image of the first rays of sunlight illuminating Swargrohini from behind is etched in my mind forever. Standing over 16,200 feet, Bali Pass is both a challenge and a reward. The final ascent was steep and covered in loose snow and gravel, requiring careful navigation and sheer determination. Reaching the summit felt like stepping onto the roof of the world. From here, we were greeted with breathtaking panoramic views of Bandarpooch, Kalanag, and Swargrohini, a sight so magnificent it left us speechless. This moment was a culmination of our efforts, a testament to our resilience and teamwork. The Bali Pass trek is an experience that lingers long after the journey ends. It's a path that tests your limits, rewards your perseverance, and fills you with a profound appreciation for the natural world. For me, this wasn't just about reaching the summit. It was about every moment along the way and the profound lessons of patience, showing that great achievements require persistence and steady effort. The challenges faced on the trail remind me to embrace discomfort as part of growth. The vastness of the Himalayas instills humility, a reminder of how small we are in the grand scheme of nature's majesty. And finally, the shared journey reinforces the value of teamwork and the strength that comes from supporting one another. These are lessons that will echo far beyond the trek, shaping my perspectives for a lifetime. The descent from Bali Pass onto the Yamunotri Glacier was equally thrilling and tricky. There was one patch that was pretty unnerving, with steep fall and very little margin for error. The steep slopes and loose rocks kept us on our toes as we made our way down to Lower Dhamini. This campsite, surrounded by dense forest, took far longer than anticipated after the grueling summit day. The next morning, we descended farther into the sacred Yamunotri Valley.
The site of the Yamunotri Temple, nestled against a backdrop of towering mountains, was a fitting conclusion to our trek, and a farewell to these majestic peaks would not be complete without a promise of the next adventure. Another challenge, another opportunity to grow and explore. So, here's to the trails yet to be walked and the memories yet to be made.